And I've had my long periods of being depressed and really in a bad place. And the only beauty that's really come out of it has been songs that were therapeutic for me, but also realizing that it's connecting with other people who are going through a version of what I'm going through, which is one of the reasons that your songs connected with me so much, especially at that time.
Yeah.
So the question I have for you now is, do you believe that the best songwriting still lives in sort of darkness? And B, do you ever find yourself almost manufacturing it or finding a way, or unconsciously or consciously manufacturing it so that the writing will be better?
Well, this is going to be an awfully hard thing to cop to, but there's no question. I mean, there have been times in my life when I have kind of burned it down for the songs, and put myself in, pain and misery, and done the same to other people, for the ideas that would come out of it. I don't know that it was conscious. I don't know.
I would doubt that it was conscious.
I don't think it was.
Knowing you.
Yeah, I don't think I was trying to do it. But in hindsight, sometimes when you look back,
sure,
you're like, oh, come on, buddy. You might be telling me that you don't know that this was happening, but come on. Yeah. So it's hard for me, but I'll try to give myself the benefit of the doubt. But yes, I think that, part of it may be, and you and I have talked about this, I get suspicious of really happy songs. You're not that happy, buddy. Whoever you are, you're not that happy. Don't answer this because I know you're kind of happy now.
I am, but I was going to say...
Stop it.
No, you don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say, is it that you're suspicious of happy songs or that you're suspicious of happiness?
Yes.
I tend to be as well.
Of both.
Yeah.
And I do, the beautiful thing is, generally speaking, I'm happier now than I have been in a long time.
We've navigated a lot of waters.
Yes.
We're smart.
Yes.
So if you haven't progressed to the point where you're at least in a slightly, if not much better place than you were 20 years ago.
Right, one would hope.
Then you're doing it wrong.
Yeah. But I do think when I sit down to write, I very often sort of think back on how it feels to maybe be a little bit, I think back on the sort of darker times. And I love it when I write a song that is positive and that is happy, because it will, by definition, have passed a lot of tests along the way, right? Mm-hmm. For me, it's so easy to be like, no, or delete, that, not a chance. But if it gets to the point where it's on a record and it's happy, then I really it passed all the tests for me.
Yeah.
The sadder songs, it's my more natural habitat. It just is.
But haven't you done what I've done, which is when people have said, but on the last album or your last album,
yeah,
I'm sure we could go to songs or even pieces of lyric that are really almost despondent, or really sad, really achingly sad, right? And I've had people go, but you seem so happy. Why did you write that? Or how did you write that? And I go, I very easily remember how it felt when I was really in the weeds.
Well, so that's what I was going to say too. I do think it's the sort of pain memory is very fresh.
Yeah.
Right? So it's easy to sort of dive back into it.
Right. And don't you think that those periods of our lives also still, I don't know that you can ever really write them all out. There's always, the well is always deep.
Yeah.
I never run out of ways or things to write about those periods of time. Even if it's a very similar subject matter or emotion being conveyed. It's just a different way of saying it because it's like I haven't purged it all.
No,
it's still there.
Right.
Right.
No, I think absolutely. There are like those threads are still, sort of out in the breeze, sort of untethered, and there is a part of me that wants to go back to them and try to hone them together, so that it feels less like there's a hole inside of me that's leaking out.
Yeah. I also have, and this speaks to what you said about your suspicion. I also have a philosophy that I hold true to, which is, at least in my experience in my life, the sensation, the physical and emotional feeling of sadness and sorrow and longing is a more powerful emotion than happiness.
Yeah.
At least in my experience.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want that to be true.
I don't want it to be true either, but it is.
But I think it is. I think, let's put it this way, Danny boy, when I was a kid, my father, I've always had a hard time falling asleep. And my father would come up and he'd put his hand on my back and he'd sing Danny Boy to me. And that is, I mean, there it is, right?
Yeah.
You've got the pain is right there from father to son in the beautiful melody and these words about having to go, and hopefully I'll be back. I mean, it's just an eternal connection then, I think, at that point, But it's interesting, though, because, like, why does Happy Birthday not... Right?
Exactly.
Like if my dad had been singing Happy Birthday to me every night, would I have wound up being a pretty happy guy?
Maybe. But I also think that some of us are just born with a certain wiring. And I think that you and I have, it's one of the reasons that we're so close.
Yeah.
Is, I've also noticed that with, there are a lot of people I've met who, if I ask them this direct question, I'll say, can you remember hearing a piece of music? No words, not a song, just a piece of music, either in a film or a classical piece or just something that made you literally well up and or cry. And I've had a number of people say, no, I've never had that.
Really?
I know, but I've seen movies that made me cry, or I've heard songs that made me cry.
Right.
So I think that there's a certain wiring. And I remember when I was a little kid, there were just certain pieces of music or chord changes that did things to me inside of me that I didn't understand.
Right. Oh yeah.
That would literally, the hair on my arms would stand up and I would have this rush of emotion. Dave Grusin, the composer, has done it to me continually. John Barry did it to me continually, mostly film scores for me. But I think that because we're both wired in a way that we're very emotional people, and we're moved by beautiful things, that was also part of why we ended up writing the kind of songs that we wrote and had success with that. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. I think there's a rawness sort of intrinsically there for both of us and for many songwriters, many creatives probably, right? Where you're just keeping it together. You're just kind of, you're walking through your days and I'll speak first person here. I walk through my days and I see things that just make me sad. Yeah. Like I'll see a flower on the concrete. And all of a sudden it's like, that's a metaphor of death and you just see it right there. It's beautiful now, and tomorrow it's going to be withered up and sunburnt and dry, and like, there's a rawness there. And I as much as I would love to probably be a little bit better put together, I also realize like there's a beauty to seeing these things and having them resonate, having them register.
Yeah.
And it's not just for the songs. It's like you feel like you're seeing, you're feeling things,
Yeah. Well, the way you're describing that is making me think about our friendship and how, somebody who maybe just caught the last 90 seconds of that would probably think, wow, these guys are a barrel of laughs to hang out with.
Oh yeah, you don't want to hang out with us.
But the truth is, what's so wonderful about this friendship is when we're excited about something.
Oh yeah.
When you're excited about something, which usually I'm going to be excited about it too.
Yeah.
If we're, if there's a movie that we've seen that we both thought was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
Or if there's a song that somebody does that we play it for each other, or we, my car or your car, or these things that make us really like excited. What I love is that with you, I have felt no hesitation to
both work.
Be like, this is fucking awesome.
Right.
Like childlike almost.
Yeah.
Like we can be that way.
Well, okay.
And we've also had many, many times where we get into the real nitty gritty of stuff and we both are crying.
Yes.
I think that's a rare friendship between two men. I do.
I have felt free to cry in your presence, and I will continue to. And I love that I can be.
I'll give you something to cry about.
I just love that I can just always be myself with you.
Yes.
Like for real.
I totally am with you.
I'm not interested in faking anything with you. And but being excitable is absolutely one of the most important things about living.
Yeah.
There is no question about it. Like, sure, things can make me sad, but things also get me excited.
Yeah.
Things get me fired up.
Right.
And maybe that is part of that thing. Maybe I'm a little less steady, you know what I mean? And I have some lows, but then I've also got these ups.
Yeah.
I get these moments where I'm like, no way, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I feel like I'm not interested in hiding how I feel or where I am, and the people in my life who are that's a safe with whom that is a safe place. Like it's like I'm grateful that I have people like that I can just be myself.
Yeah.